So today we're going to be going over 10 fragrances that I fell in love with the first time I smelled them. These were no-brainers for me. The second I tried them, I knew that they worked really well with me and they resonated with what I was into. And that's not something that happens all the time. I mean, you can look on the channel and see the first impressions videos that I do on new releases, and while there are some that really impress me right away, a lot of them I am kind of wavery at first. You know, it takes me time to figure it out and to test it. But these 10 here, they were instant. I knew right away. We've got 9 designers and 1 niche, so nice little mix here. It's all going to be on the more affordable side. I could have gone more into the niche direction, but that gets even harder because a lot of niche fragrances are so polarizing in one way or another that basically a lot of them for me ended up being love at first sniff. But I wanted to try to keep it designer friendly here because I think more often than not it can be harder to find love at first sniff designers because there are so many out there, and a lot of which can be kind of generic. I will provide links to all of these down below in the video description, along with the Fragrance Net 35% off link. Clicking that will automatically apply the current best discount. The code is always changing, but that link always applies it. And also, if at any point they bring back the 37% off, that link will also apply that as well. So clicking that guarantees the lowest price possible. Alrighty, I think we should just go ahead and get us some. We're going to start off here. Cartier Declaration Parfum. Spices, cardamom, and leather. This one here is a gentleman's scent. It's been popping up quite a bit on the channel for a great reason, because that's nice. I mean, it's dry, it's woody, it's spicy, it's leathery, it's masculine. At the end of the day, this is a masculine fragrance for guys who want something that is more of a traditional man's fragrance rather than something that trends in the sweeter direction, which I know isn't everyone's favorite. This is one that I would gravitate towards in a situation where I want to be portrayed as professional, right, and classy. There are a lot of fragrances out there that I would wear differently, like for example, fresher fragrances in the summertime to be more casual. Even sweeter fragrances sometimes can come across more casual and playful. This is basically when you want to get down to business and be taken seriously. The Parfum concentration, very strong, very potent, very heavy, very rich. Comes in at around $100, $115, depending on what size you get. So this is the 150 ml for $115. The 100 ml is $100. I think that kind of speaks for itself. Next up, a fragrance that goes way back for me, AQUA de Jo PROFUMO. This one here is one that my girlfriend loves, and that's great news because that means I get to wear it more. And she likes it instead of kind of giving me weird looks when I wear something she doesn't like. This one's got incense, patchouli, sea notes. Smelling this is just incredible. Smells like a summer night on the beach. Just think of that, right? Just sit down, close your eyes, listen to this video, a summer night on the beach, right? There you go. You hear the waves crashing, maybe there's a full moon, you're with your significant other, you're walking down the beach, it's just you two. I mean, that's what this smells like in a nutshell. It's smoky, it's mysterious, it's masculine. It also has a little bit of a playfulness because after all, it is that original AQUA de Jo DNA. For me, this is everything that I could look for in a flanker. Also, it's a parfum, so yes, it keeps getting better here. Parfum concentration, it's a strong performer. It's a fragrance that I have a lot of love for. There's been reformulation talk, or I'm sorry, there's been discontinuation talk. I hope not reformulation. Please don't freak out about that. Discontinuation talk. I'm not sure of that anymore. I really don't know. It wouldn't surprise me, but at the same time, it would surprise me. So my advice to you is just, if you don't have a bottle yet and you want one, just buy one. If you have a bottle and you like it a lot, maybe buy a backup bottle. I've started buying backup bottles of this one several years ago. I've got a lot now, so no matter what happens, I'm set up. I encourage you, if you are passionate about this fragrance, to maybe do the same. Next up, SPICEBOMB Extreme by Viktor and Rolf. One of the best winter fragrances out there. Sure, it's popular. Sure, it's talked about, but there is great reason for that. I mean, it's definitely justified. It's not people hyping up some, 5 out of 10 fragrance or anything like that. This truly is astonishing, and you will only know that if you get your nose on it, so I encourage you to do so. Tobacco, vanilla, black pepper. It's so inviting, so sweet, so mysterious. masculine and sexy. It also has a little bit of a playfulness because, again, we're looking at a Spice Bomb flanker. And of course, the EDT is very loud, very strong, very spicy. But it also has this kind of, this refined, grown-up, mature aspect. And one way I've described it is Spice Bomb EDT is a guy in his late teens, early to maybe mid-20s, just college, all that stuff. And Spice Bomb Extreme is a guy that's in his 30s, 35, 40 years old, somewhere around there. He's just mature, he's grown up, he's invested in his career, he started a family. That's what this one's all about. It's another one that's very strong. It just gets the job done like crazy in the wintertime, and I cannot recommend it enough. For me, the second I smelled this one, I was head over heels in love. And I actually put it off for a while because of that price point. Even at discounter, still about $100. But trust me when I say it is worth every penny. Next up, we have a fragrance that to a lot of people would not make this list at all. It would probably be the last thing that they think about, so I understand that. But for me, just it shocked me in such a great way. I still remember it. It's crazy. It's AQUA Atlantique. Another one of my girlfriend's favorites. I mean, she loves this stuff. And again, that's awesome. And also, one of the reasons why I'm so impressed with this stuff, even to this day, is the performance from an aquatic, fresh fragrance. This stuff is monstrous. You're looking at every bit of 10, 11, 12 plus hours of longevity. That is not an exaggeration. I have worn this stuff so many times. This is not my first bottle. But you can even see there's a dent in this one a little bit here. If we can get some focus. My first bottle, I don't know where it is right now, but it's basically empty. I mean, I've gone through this stuff, trust me. I have tested it, and it is wild. Projection is also very strong, especially in the heat, which is when I like to wear this one. All around, AQUA Atlantique, it blew me away by the smell, that salty blue fragrance twist with that nice bergamot up top, the C notes. It's just, for me, it's amazing. One of my favorite blue fragrances, one of the strongest blue fragrances, and also one of the most affordable blue fragrances, coming in at like $40. You can get it as a tester because there's no caps anyway. This is the way to go. Let's keep this one moving. We've got Prada Luna Rossa Black up next. So I understand, for whatever reason, it's been out of stock here on discounters for a good while, so I apologize if you were looking to get this one. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be hooking you up with a discounted price at this time, but I will be looking out for it. I have been looking out for it, and so when it comes back, I will post it on my community tab. Make sure you get subscribed for all those deals. Right now, your only way is retail, which it is available, I believe, 102. So when you think about it, once it hits discounters, I think it's usually mid to upper 80s, if I remember correctly. So you're not saving a ton of money. It's going to be up to you. But this one has tonka bean. It's got amber. Man, that is so, so nice. It's powdery, it's smooth, it's sweet. It's going to be sweet, obviously. So going back to the very beginning here with the Cartier, this is, complete opposites here. So depends on what you're into. For me, I really like both genres here. I love sweet fragrances. I love masculine, strong fragrances. This one just has a nice comforting aspect about it. One where maybe you're having a long, stressful day. Maybe you had a long day and you're coming home. You want to just snuggle up on the couch with a nice cocktail of your choice and with your wife or girlfriend, and you just want to relax. This is the type of thing that you spray on to help balance that out versus wearing something super dry and woody and strong like the Cartier. So there are definitely uses for something like this if maybe you aren't, into it all the time to wear during the daytime. It's a great comfort scent. Also is a good performer, sweet, smooth, high quality. It's a Prada fragrance that does not disappoint. Next one, we've got Royal Night by Dolce & Gabbana. This is the one flanker. So this one has amber, it has sandalwood, it has the one DNA. It's always so hard to say. It has the one DNA, maybe that's better, but without tobacco. I know, that sucks. That part of it does suck, but I'll tell you what makes up for it, at least depending on how much you care, the performance. One of the arguments that I still see all the time, in fact, I saw this comment again this morning, people saying that you shouldn't buy Dolce & Gabbana the one EDP because the performance sucks. Well, that's a date fragrance. If you need 8 hours out of a date night fragrance, I don't know what you're doing. Maybe good for you, but most of us only need a couple hours for a date night fragrance, which that's what that is after all. Let's be real. If you want a daytime work fragrance that gets you close to that one, but with good performance, Royal Night's your only option. You can either keep, worrying and obsessing over the poor performance of that one, or you could take it for what it is, use it as a couple-hour date night fragrance, get some amazing reactions, and buy this one to wear during the day. The lack of the tobacco note does sound like a bummer, and it is, but you may be surprised. You may actually really like it too. I still am a big fan of this one. It's more smooth and more creamy without that tobacco note. A nice twist. This one typically will be a bit more expensive on discounters due to the exclusive edition of this one, but it is in stock right now. One that I would highly recommend you pick up if you want a fix to that performance. One other genius thing you can do, layer the two together. There you go. Let's go and knock out that niche fragrance. We've got Creed Green Irish Tweed. So this one's got lemon verbena, it's got iris, it's got ambergris. So this is one of those fragrances that, at least for me, when I smelled it the first time, I knew right away. I'm like, I understand. I get it now. Because given that it is a niche fragrance, for me, when I was first starting out, I didn't have a lot of money to be spending on anything, much less cologne, niche fragrances of all things. And so it was one that I constantly had to see featured in lists. I constantly had to see reviews, forums, threads, you name it. And same with Aventus and every other Creed and niche fragrance for that matter. I saw that stuff all the time, hype after hype after hype, and I hadn't smelled it yet. And it wasn't until finally I was able to get a bottle of it. I did get a sample first. And when I smelled that sample, I was like, okay, like I get it. I understand. This is magical. And that's just one of those things where it's hard to believe. It's hard to think ahead and be like, wow, this really is that good. You just have to experience it for yourself. It's clean, it's green, it's masculine, it's refined. It is a timeless scent. This came out in the mid-80s, 1985, and it still smells brand new. I mean, that's just impressive. I love this stuff. Great fragrance. Now, there are comparisons to Cool Water, and people say Cool Water came first. It did not come first. And also, to be fair, I really don't think it smells all that much like Cool Water. Cool Water is headache-inducing for me. That's not me being a niche snob or anything like that. I love cheap $20 fragrances, but not Cool Water. That one has never worked for me. I don't think it ever will. A lot of other $20 fragrances do, but I think this one is it's in a different world, just in general, not just with Cool Water, but other fresh fragrances. If you want something refined, sexy, masculine, and just the utmost versatile scent, Green Irish Tweed gets it done, and it is a stunner. Let's roll into this one right here, Dark Rebel Rider by John Varvatos. So, I've been a little bit upset the past few days because I've been looking around and the original Dark Rebel seems to be discontinued. And honestly, I'm kind of thinking, or at least feeling like this one is discontinued already. If not, it's going to be. Take a look at the John Varvatos website. It's not on there. Neither is Dark Rebel. Neither is Artisan Aqua, which has been confirmed to be discontinued for a long time. There is Artisan Pure. There's there's John Varvatos Vintage. There's the original. There's the new XX in the gray bottle. But it just kind of, it all coincides. The discontinued ones that are confirmed aren't there, and stuff that is still easy to get isn't there either. That's concerning to me. And I would really be bummed out if these John Varvatos fragrances get discontinued, or if they are, because these at one point were some of the best bangs for your buck. The prices on them are also increasing on discounters. And for me, especially Dark Rebel Rider here is just a beauty. Leather, vanilla, and cedarwood are 3 of the 40 notes. I mean, there's a ton of notes in this fragrance. I'm not even going to get into them. It's smooth, it's creamy, it's smoky, leathery, resinous. God dang, I mean, that's just an absolute beast of a sexy, stunning fragrance that really still doesn't cost a lot of money. You're looking at $50 range now, which is a jump compared to what it used to be, and it's probably only going to continue to go up, but still at this price, it is worth it. Now, this one is labeled as like a bad boy scent, and I can see that to some extent, although it does seem to be over dramatized a bit, given, of course, the name, the bottle, the leather, all of that stuff. It's still smooth and creamy, right? I would almost even say Cartier Declaration Parfum is more of a bad boy scent than this, but to each their own. Absolute stunner, and my advice to you, if you don't have this yet, get it now. If you have it and you love it,
get a backup bottle now because it's not looking good. Same with the original Dark Rebel. I'm also a huge fan of that one, but that's up to $60 for 2.5 ounce. If you love it, get another one. This is sad to see, it's sad to say, but it looks like that's what's happening. Second to last fragrance. On a better note, one that is fully in production for about $40. Hugo Boss bottled the scent Private Accord. Not Boss bottled. Hugo Boss the scent Private Accord. There we go. Coffee, cacao, ginger, and maninka are some of the main notes. It's a beauty. Man, that smells good. Even just off the atomizer, it's kind of chocolatey, coffee, leathery, fruity, dry. This is a work of art. This stuff's remarkable. And it's another one where it just even keeps getting better. You know, when I first smelled it and, you know, I tried it, sprayed it, I was like, man, this is amazing. I love it. It's unique. But even now, as I've had it for a while and I continue to wear it, it just somehow keeps developing and getting better. I mean, this stuff is great, fantastic for the price. It opens up nice and fresh and fruity. I mean, that's kind of where it starts out. But as it dries down, then more of the coffee notes, the leather, the chocolate notes start to come in, and it gets even more smooth and creamy and sweet and gets better. Big fan of this one here. Hugo Boss, they've got some gems, they've got some amazing fragrances, and this happens to be one of them. And we are done. Last fragrance, Dunhill Icon. That actually would have been terrible if I would have let this go, because this is like a couple pound bottle that would wreck my camera. So I probably shouldn't do that anymore. But, you know, here's what's weird. It's a heavy, bulky, menacing bottle. I mean, when you pick this up, it's got texture, it's heavy, it feels like a tank, but yet it smells like grape soda. So what's the deal there? It's got neroli pepper, iris, lavender. It's a gentleman's fragrance that is one of a kind. There is not one other thing out there that smells like this one, at least from my experience. I've smelled a lot of things. I've got a lot of fragrances. I've smelled even more than I have, and I've never come across anything that is truly similar to this one to a heavy extent. It's utilizing that neroli in such a unique way. It's fizzy, it's sparkling, it's bright. It has, surprisingly, yes, this grape smell that you do get, especially the more you smell it. You're like, man, it does have a fizzy grape soda smell. This is a springtime king. One of the most refreshing, bubbly, fizzy spring fragrances I can think of. And yes, if it wasn't obvious, the first time I smelled this one, I was mind blown. This stuff is awesome, and also not a lot of money, $40 range. Okay guys, that's gonna do it for me. That was 10 fragrances that I fell in love with the first time I smelled them. These are all fantastic. If you're in the market for something, these did it for me, and I think if you're watching this channel, you probably do have a similar taste to me, so I would say they most likely would do it for you as well. These will be all linked up down below, along with the Fragrance Net 35% off link. I will also probably link John Varvatos' Dark Rebel, just the original, and of course Dark Rebel Rider, which is in the video. My advice is it's sad to see, but you may want to pick them up. Alrighty, that's gonna do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and like always, I will see you right here tomorrow with one more video. Okay, take care.